Hey guys, this is the third time I'm attempting to record this review. Really weird sound issues, and it's not consistent when sound goes out or not, and it really sucks having to go through a whole review and then start editing it and then realizing that it has no sound. So this is attempt number 3. Alright, the book that I am reviewing today is The Myth of Monogamy, Fidelity and Infidelity in Animals and People by David P. Barash and Judith E. Lipton. This book was published in May of 2001 by W.H. Freeman. It has 204 pages and it has 194 ratings on Goodreads. Okay, so this book, as you can tell, is nonfiction. It is about the mating strategies of animals, in which it's more fortuitous to have both the male and the female raising the young, and therefore creating the environment where the mating strategy of monogamy or the appearance of monogamy is better than just having the male or the female just raise the young by themselves, because it takes so much energy to raise the young. So it's like the environment that it's kind of brings out the mating strategy of monogamy and not necessarily something really innate to them. So this book goes through essentially why animals would choose at least to appear monogamous, and it makes a distinction between social monogamy and sexual monogamy. It goes through the different mating strategies of males within a monogamous structure and females within a monogamous structure, and how they both will try to game the system in terms of infidelity and their different strategies of trying to get the best results for them. One thing I really did like about this book is that it inadvertently talked about a lot of different behaviors that are exhibited between monogamous humans, but what it did was in examining other species, it didn't examine other species that are more closely related to us, but it examined species that have similar social or environmental structure that would favor a monogamous structure to raise young. So it has a chapter on male infidelity in a monogamous system, and it has 2 chapters on female infidelity, on their strategy, and then it has a chapter of why monogamy at all. Why do species still, even though they're not monogamous or some of them aren't monogamous, why still have the image of being monogamous and the benefits of that? And also it has a chapter on why member species specifically choose not to cheat on their social partner. One thing about this book, it doesn't pull back at all on the vocabulary. It describes in detail different studies. It doesn't pull back on technical terms, so you have to be at least confident in your scientific literacy to understand this and not to be intimidated. Another thing about this that I did really like, because talking about behaviors in animals, it relies on a lot of observation, a lot of theory of trying to explain the root cause of a lot of these behaviors. And what this book does very well is it clearly has an opinion on what theory it thinks it's right, but if there is a competing theory that disagrees with the opinion that they've agreed with in this book, they will lay out unbiasedly the other competing opinion and put out the explanation and the reasoning behind that opinion, and it leaves it up to the reader whether or not they agree with the theory that the book supports or this other competing theory. So I really like the fact that the book actually presented debate, different aspects of different behaviors and theories. I really did appreciate that, and I think more nonfiction books need to do that instead of just presenting the book as if there's no debate, or clearly I have enough evidence for my thing and they believe something else, but I'm not going to tell you about that because it's not worth my time. I don't like books that do that, so I really appreciated it in The Myth of Monogamy. Yeah, I learned a lot from this book. Some of the stuff I already knew, but some of the stuff I thought was very interesting, and I liked, how it looked at animals, and then you could see, like, when it's describing, like, stuff that birds do, at the same time you could see, like, oh, like, that looks familiar, just like Jerry Springer. And I really like that it just kind of puts a different perspective on behaviors that we view as really specific to humans, or just behaviors that we think are very specific to humans and aren't, that we add extra meaning and extra significance for and fuel it with emotions that we perceive that other animals don't have. But I mean, it kind of shows that in the end it kind of boils down to something more simplistic than our inflated egos in our species are comfortable with admitting to. So yeah, I thought it was a very interesting read. I do recommend it. And one interesting thing about this is that the authors of this book, they're married, and they've been married for like 10 years. I guess they must be really solid in their relationship to write a book together about infidelity. So I thought that was very interesting. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. It is very technical, but I did learn a lot from it. And I do recommend it. So yeah, that is my review. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.